Okay, I'm Grafting Conifers again, and I'm gonna start off by showing you how to get started. This is rubbing alcohol. It's a paper towel. And even though I cleaned my tools last time before I put them away, I'll give them another clean right now. This is a nice tool. It's called a slimmer trimmer. A.M. Leonard sells it online. And when you're grafting conifers, sap builds up on your tools. So each new graft, I clean my knife, and whenever I see buildup, I clean this. I'm going to prepare my scion, get rid of these lower needles. Actually, this one's ready. Get rid of that one. And you always start with a fresh cut. This has been in a bag, tips dried up. So now we have a really fresh, clean, green, healthy tip of the scion. And this is a cork board. Cork boards have natural antiseptic properties. So when you make your cuts, you can lay your cuts on the cork and it won't damage the tissue. You cannot lay your cuts on wood, on plastic, vinyl, plastic, cutting boards like this white one, whatever that is. I think it's plastic, whatever it is. So we're going to start. You're going to figure out which side is going to go, the back side of this is going to go up against the understock, the seedling. I'm going to choose this side. It's because it's a little flatter. And because I have a single bud right up here on the other side, which will get in the way when I try to match these together. Every scion you have to look at and determine which is going to be the best way to cut it. So cut one. Nice. Lots of green. You don't see any dark colored pith. When you rest it on there, you know you're cutting precisely 180 degrees on the other side. Got a little bit of bark here. I'm not going to be concerned about that. And your final cut is called a wedge cut. While you have the back side at the bottom, you're going to make about a 45-degree angled cut. So now you have this wedge. So here's my back side. This wedge is going to fit into a wedge that I'm going to cut into the seedling. And all we're doing, of course, is borrowing the roots from this seedling. I would graft most of these 4 or 5 inches up, and when you have real miniature stuff, you should graft them about 6-7 inches up, because the real miniature stuff grows real slow, and you're going to need air circulation around this to keep that miniature, which grows anywhere from a 1/4 inch to less than an inch. You need better air circulation. So I'll try to show you. I usually use both hands on the knife, but I'm going to skim this bark off. turn the knife in, and you will feel when you've reached the pith. This is called the flap. She'll go up around the front side of the scion. So we got our wedge, and we also turned the knife in 45 degrees so the wedge will fit in, and that's going to give you some tightness while you're wrapping your bud strips. Going to hold that scion in place. Now you always just have to line up one side. Green to green. So my scion has a little bit more width to it than the width of the seedling. So got one side lined up very nicely. You always want to make sure that there's no gap, and as you bring the bud strip around to the front, you kind of give it a little extra oomph. Hold that together. So I'll press it with my finger a little tighter. It's kind of slow motion, and I can already see it's held tight. So I'm just going to finish wrapping. Now I'm below the working area, and I've passed where we made our cut. And I'm going to make a slip knot on the back side of this, which takes a little practice. You'll eventually figure out how to do it. This graft is almost done. I think you can see. Yep. And normally, grafters that are bigger operations, even myself, I have a 16-foot long greenhouse, but it's only 6 feet wide. But I have what's called a tenting chamber built all the way across the front of my greenhouse. It is 16 feet long, and this year I'm growing seedlings, so I've taken all that space. Let me start again here. Which would normally be my tenting or humidity chamber, because you have to have humidity around a graft until the graft knits and until the graft buds break and it begins growing. The whole idea of humidity is not allowing the working area to dry out. You cannot let that happen. And so an effective, simple way is to use a lightweight plastic bag on each of your grafts. I'm going to show you the best way to do this. Cut a little notch at the bottom of the bag that you can get your finger through. Open it ever so slightly, and then we're going to work our way towards the graft. You're going to be very careful when you get to the graft, the scion. Get the bag over it. And as I think I said, this is a really lightweight bag. You can't find these anymore. I found these at a country grocery store. You know, they're made for twist ties. Now we have Ziplocs, but Ziplocs are too thick of plastic. So we're going to gather this around so that hole is completely sealed. And I'm going to put a permanent twist tie until I'm done until this cyan is done doing its thing, until it grows. So there you have it. Got it like this. And the whole idea is we're going to put another twist tie. Up here. So we're making our own grafting chamber, as I said, for each individual graft. Now, you want to keep the bag from touching the plant material, the cyan. So open it up. And this is finished now, but I'm going to say what's going to happen is condensation is going to build up on the inside of the bag. And you're going to see large water droplets. And when this happens, you're going to have to open the bags, which you're going to open from the top. You're always going to leave this twist tie on, all while they're knitting and pushing and everything. So you're going to open up the top one, and you're going to open up the bag, get it away from the cyan, and allow this condensation to completely remove from inside the bag. Let it evaporate. Takes about a half an hour to an hour, and then you're going to reseal this bag, and you're going to continue to do this until the graft is completely growing, finished, or if it's died. But there you have it. Make sure you label, which I will do. This is a Pinus Sembra dwarf cultivar that I've grafted to Eastern White Pine. And I'll write what I grafted it to as well, which is Pinus strobus. So I've written Sembra, the cultivar name, to strobus. And I'm going to also write on the back side of this tag as well. That way, when you're looking at your grafts, you can read what's on the tag on the other side as the other side faces the sun. Grafts need a lot of sun. You want to keep them as much sun as possible. Here are some of the others I've done yesterday, and a few I did a couple weeks ago. So this is it. And I'll keep lining them up like soldiers. I've still got this space left. Make rows and rows. And this is my normal tenting chamber, which of course I said is full of seedlings right now, seeds. And there would be a piece of white poly that's attached to the board here that goes to the floor, and inside here that keeps the humidity, which you want to be up around 90%, but the bag accomplishes the same thing. So this is Grafting Conifers, veneer grafting them on a cork board, which I think is the easiest way to do it. And I grafted a 5-needle pine to a 5-needle pine. If you're going to graft spruce, you can graft any species to any species, and the same applies for firs. Good luck. I wish you the best, I really do.